Like in my house, my parents and my grandfather, they used to comb the pashmina from the goat, and we have only one crop in a year. And after that, they sell it to the middleman. They don't know who is actually buying it, and they don't even know what kind of product they are making out of pashmina. So they just sell it to some buyers. Those are the middlemen who actually works for the real manufacturer in Kashmir. It's the name, only name different. Like locally, it's known as Lena. In the Pashmina is more popular in India. It's a Persian words. And then in the West, it's known as Kashmir. Even in China, they call it Kashmir. And if you see what Kashmir is in detail, then you'll find that the Kashmir is a wool found in the mountain of Kashmir, and the name Kashmir derived from Kashmir. Traditionally, Ladakh, it's been just recently Ladakh got a separate identity, union territory, but otherwise politically we were part of Kashmir. That's how they call it Kashmir. Earlier, like the Pashmina was not processed here. Now we have the processing machine over here. And back then, when I was young, in my village, my father and my relatives, even in the entire villagers, they sell their pashmina to the Kashmiris, or sometimes some middlemen from Leh or around. They come and they just buy the pashmina, and the middlemen actually they control everything. They work they entirely. They have the monopoly over this business. And we were not given the right price that we actually supposed to get. When I was studying in Leh in a higher secondary school, so at that time the government of India, the Ministry of Textile and local government, Hill Council, so they are planning to set up a pashmina processing plant here in Leh. And as we don't have any processing plant here in Ladakh, so they are looking for people to train on the processing things. So at the same time, they are looking for the people from the Changtang region, where I belong. So I was selected from my region, and I have seen staying in that processing plant. I have seen that there is not really much happening in the value addition. We were still selling the raw pashmina outside Ladakh, which is still happening. So I thought, why not I can start something, so that we can do more value addition to the best pashmina that we have. She's Kunjang, and she's been in what how you call it. She joined us last year, and then now she's like she almost do everything in the weaving, and right from the designing particular weaving pattern to weaving to to install the loomings itself. And yes, now she's weaving a pashmina shawl, a medium-sized shawl she's weaving. This is maybe her third shawl. Third shawl. Earlier two was made with yak wool here. The work is pashmina and the weft is yak. Down there we have it's black, and this is all pashmina. And then she started yesterday this one, and maybe 2 days for his stall.
Student.
2 days for a stall. Yes, let's say around 8 hours to 8 to 9 hours if you work continuously weaving. See there is potentials, and I know we have the knowledge to do something. And the only difference was the material that we are not using earlier. The pashmin is the only cash income for the people in the region, and in fact the only export commodity earlier. I'm just trying to show what are the different wool that we have, right? This is the goat hair, we call it. The normal, every goat has this hair, but the Changra goat, the Pashmina goat has this. they grow this during winter. This is actually the pashmina. So it comes in three natural color basically. This from the white goat you will get the white pashmina, and from this black you will get the brownish or the beige, more like a brown kind of. Pashmina is a very complicated fiber in terms of processing, because if you talk about wool, and it's much easier than that of the pashmina, because you get the wool, you wash it and clean it, and it's ready to spin. While pashmina, you have to separate the coarser hair, the normal hairs from the pashmina. So it's a long process. So here I'm preparing the yarn, winding the yarn on the bobbin, and this is a natural color pashmina, hand spun. We are not only helping yourself, but you are also helping the community as a whole, and you're trying to revive the traditions which was lost over the years, because you have very cheap clothes available next to your door or in the market, so people start forgetting their traditional crafts. So this pashmina actually, we are trying to help our tradition to survive. Not only survive, we are also trying to innovate more ideas into the textile industry that we have, textile knowledge that we have in Ladakh. All over Ladakh, we have many self-help groups. I start working with them. I wanted to utilize their knowledge in this particular sector in textile. If you talk about the numbers of people, it would be around, in one village, we have around 130 women. Sometimes we are working with them. And then around Leh also, we are working with individuals who can't afford to go to work because of children, or maybe because of the old age parents. Beside that, we are also providing training to the local women, who want to learn basics weaving in this particular sector. We also train them with different equipments. And this is actually made in USA, and this is called IT enabled loom, because you can use your IT things to connect your loom and design everything. So, but it doesn't mean that it's all automatic, right? It's much more expensive than that of an automatic machine. So here, the good thing about this machine is that you can put all the design in the computer and weave by hand. It's very similar to that of the other loom in terms of weaving, but in terms of designing, actually the computer remembers the combinations. Ladakh, we are still very small. We are in the baby steps still. There's a lot of potential scopes to do business, further value addition in this particular sector in pashmina. Still, like around 90% of the produce is still going outside Ladakh without processing it. So only 10% of that entire production is processed here, and then they do further value additions like shawls, scarves, and knitwears. Those things are done. So there is a huge scope in this particular sector. I mean, in this pashmina industry, that more and more younger generation should come into this business and then start. I personally don't see any competition. I believe we are still in very early stage. We are not at a point where we talk about competition and all. We really have to learn from each other, which we are trying to do. For now, I believe it is not the time for competition. This is the time to learn. This is the time to collaborate with each other. This is time to exchange your ideas. And Ladakh is still, we are not producing that much. So I don't think this is competition. It's good that we have so many younger generation are coming up with this kind of business, which will not only help them, but the entire community.